Welcome back to Conversations with Sharyn and Rosa. I'm Rosa.
And I'm Sharyn.
And thank you all for tuning in once again. We appreciate all of the comments and all of the emails and likes, and we haven't gotten any dislikes, so thank you for that too. But we appreciate each and every one of you all just tuning in again. If this is your first time, welcome to Conversations with Sharyn and Rosa. If you like us, please let us know. Please subscribe, and please just hit that like button and that bell for us. We appreciate that. Before we get into today's topic, I just want to see if you want to thank anybody in particular.
Oh, just the people out there, you know who you are. But I got a new buddy who sent a wonderful email, and we
Yes.
replied, and so several other people too. But I just appreciate the fact that we feel that we're really hitting a nerve out there with people, and it's a
Yes.
good nerve, and that it's honest, it's real. We're not making up stuff. We're speaking from the heart, and we're speaking from our experiences, individually and jointly. Okay.
Yeah, so today's topic on Conversations with Sharyn and Rosa is the relationship is over. So why is it so hard to leave?
Whoa.
That is today's topic. So if you all know, have been in a relationship and you haven't been able to leave, why is it so hard for you to do that? We're going to talk about that today.
Dysfunctional relationships.
Absolutely.
Highly dysfunctional relationships.
Absolutely.
Right, right. So
Did you want to start with our...
it's just, where do we begin? Like, we all have friends, and you got people in your circle, and quite frankly, you see how other people are living their lives because they share with you. You see it. You're a witness, but I surely been a witness. But sometimes on a serious tip, we know that they know that the relationship is over, has long since been over, yet they're still together. I don't get it. If the relationship is truly over, why is it so hard for you to leave? And first of all, it's an honest question, because everyone is not on the yellow brick road skipping and happy and rainbows all over the place. And here comes a unicorn. No, I mean, there's some of us are in some really deep situations out there. Along with that, sometimes there can be another dynamic within a relationship of mental, physical abuse. All that's going on too. We're gonna talk about that today too. So if you're looking for candy and popcorn, you're not getting it today. We're talking about what's truly going on.
Absolutely.
Some of the excuses that I hear, you hear, we hear, but I mean, as you guys know, you've been looking at the segments. I've been around for a long time, and I would hear, I still hear, like, why don't you just leave after they tell you the story and the drama, the trauma, the it's, the up, she's on bail, she cut me, she bit me, she hit me with the car, she took my money out, she whatever the 1,001 reasons why you would not tolerate any of the behavior individually or collectively. I hear the excuses of, well, I just got to give her a chance to change. Change into what? The Loch Ness monster? I can fix it. How about this one? She needs me. I love her.
That's the biggest one.
No, I really love her.
Right, exactly.
It's not her fault, the way she acts. She just drank a little bit too much. She's done so much for me and the children.
Yeah.
I can't afford the mortgage by myself, because finances is an important variable in the
And
situation.
could play a big factor into why you're not leaving. So I get that.
Bigger than some. I don't want to get her in trouble. And then sometimes you compromise or try to rationalize it in your crazy mind, because you're going crazy because she's crazy and you're with somebody who's crazy. So some of the crazy touches you. How about no relationship is perfect, but you just had a a restraining order. This is your third restraining order in 18 months. But she's going to change. When things were really great, I promised her I would never leave her. She just had too much to drink. Well, she's a drunk. That's what they do. But
Right.
okay.
I
Would you
can attest to that. I can
really?
attest to that. Yeah. As some of the things that Sharyn mentioned, I was in a relationship where the woman was a manipulator. She definitely was a drunk, and she was an alcoholic, which are two different things: a drunk and an alcoholic. And I'll get into that in a second. Was a drug user, was a liar, was abusive, all of that. And I knew the relationship was not going anywhere. You can see that. But I think it was like I felt like I needed her because I'm coming out of a marriage, with my ex-husband, and I was looking for just to immerse myself into this lifestyle that I just so independently wanted, and I'm just gonna be this independent woman and do whatever I want to do and date who I want to date. And so when I got with this particular woman, she showed me all of what not to do in a relationship. And I had never experienced that type of relationship. And it was so weird because she was a woman whom I loved very much. And it was like, well, you don't really leave people that you love. You don't really walk away from people that you love. If you say you love this woman, regardless of all that dysfunction, then you have to stay. So I felt like I needed to stay because she liked my children. She did do a lot for me, but it just was so toxic, and I should have known better, and I didn't know any better. And I think it was me being so blind as to I'm getting out of one relationship and I just need to go and find my life, and this was what was going to happen now. But I have to say that I learned a lot. I'm not mad at her, not mad at I probably need to get over being more mad at myself than mad at her. But I knew it. I just knew it. And it really was hard for me to leave because of all of those things and some of the things that Sharyn even mentioned earlier. And I look back on that and I'm just so glad it's over and I'm out. And
You've gone on with your life.
yeah, and just me, it was like the last straw. But what has to happen? What has to be your last straw for you to get out of that relationship? Why is it so hard to leave? I mean, she and I never lived together, so it wasn't like, oh, I didn't have anywhere to go or whatever. It was just the fact that I thought that I loved her, and when you love somebody, you don't walk away from them, and that was my biggest thing.
Right.
And I felt like I can help her. I'm like, God put me in this woman's life to help her because this is not her first time at the rodeo with all this stuff. She was a liar before I came in her life. She was a drunk and an alcoholic before I came in her life. And she was a functioning alcoholic. But when she was a drunk, she was the worst drunk. Falling out, laid out on the floor. I'm picking her up, burning dishes, trying to cook stuff. It was just terrible. Just terrible. Something that I would not even allow in my life at this point. Like, when I look back, it's like, what were you thinking? Rosa, I don't even understand what you were thinking. So, it just really was toxic. That's all I have to say.
So what happened? When did you hit that, oh, I can't do it anymore, I can't take it anymore? What went off in your head?
It was like every good thing we did together, whether it was just she and I or with the kids, it all was ruined at the end. It was either because of her drinking, because of her, just lying and just trying to manipulate people, making them feel bad, being nasty to other people. Like if we're at the restaurant, just to the waiters and waitresses. I mean, it just, everything that started out great,
pleasant, turned
nasty. It just turned out bad. And the last straw for me was it was my daughter's birthday, and she wanted to go to Palm Springs, and this woman had just had some type of surgery, and I felt bad to leaving her because I'm like, well, my daughter wants to go to Palm Springs. We were going to be there for 3 days, and she didn't have anybody to take care of her when she got out the hospital. And so I felt bad, and I said, why don't you come with us? So I let her come with us, and it turned out to be the worst trip ever. My daughter felt like her birthday was ruined.
It was.
And I felt bad, and I said, this is it. I packed up early because we did leave early just because of her. Packed up early, on the way home, dropped her off, and said, I cannot do this anymore. I will not do this anymore, and you need help. And that's it. And I am not the one to help you. And you need to get out of this car and goodbye. And that was like, it wasn't any turning back at that point. I knew me, and it just wasn't any turning back. And, you know, I learned a lot in that relationship. And it taught me who I really am, in a sense. But it didn't teach me that until I got out of it.
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
it was,
Well, you remember, we don't get the benefit of the lesson until we go through those events.
right. And
You
then
know
you
what
start
I mean?
seeing all the things that other people told you that they saw. It's like, oh, right, she is that. Right, I can see that now. But when you were in it, you're like, no, she's good. She's okay. And she did have a heart of gold. She really did.
Yeah.
Just a nasty person when it came to
When she
her
got
being
high.
under the influence.
Right.
It was too much.
Where some people will argue that your real self comes out. You know what I mean? And so, you know, but some of the things that we had discussed before going on tape, like I said, oh, she needs me. I love her. She's done so much for me. She's been kind to the children. And there's a list of 456 other reasons.
Right.
Okay? And what 12 was working on you? Look,
But what about you? Have you ever been in a relationship?
I've
with
been there, but let's not make it about me right now. I'm gonna get there.
It's about you. It's about us.
Wait a minute.
It's about giving it to them.
Wait,
You know?
do I have to tell them? You know, but it is real. But it's so. You know, you can talk about it and see it and feel it and learn the lesson, sit down and, you know, have a drink with a friend like, yeah, she had me going. Yeah, you can say all that 5 years later. But when you're in it, in the madness of it, and you think it's raining outside because you're crying so hard. You know, you're missing days from work, and you're just like, but you still worried about her because she's gonna be okay with her dysfunctional self. And this one of my friends like, I gotta stay with her because she had 3 DUIs, and I gotta drive her to work. I know some of us haven't controlled our demons yet. I'm not cracking on anybody, but if your
Right.
girlfriend, your wife, your sweetie got 3 DUIs, sweetie, get some
They
help.
need help.
They do
They
need
really
help. You know,
and you may not be the person to help them right then
absolutely.
and there. Sometimes it's
You're
just
too
not
much
what you're
in
there
it.
for. Right.
You're too up in it to even
You're the
see
enabler.
it. You know,
Exactly.
and so then the neurosis becomes a psychosis, which really is a mental disease. So, the broken promises. Oh, she told me she's going to sober up for my birthday. Because this year she was arrested and I had to go bail her out, and then the ice cream had melted, and then the cake was late, and so that's why we're gonna be sober next year. Really?
Yeah.
Because they can give you some reasons, and baby, please, baby, please.
Or just do a lot for you. Like I was saying with even the last relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we went on great vacations. I was exposed to more than I probably would have been in, a different relationship. And I have to credit her for that. She exposed me to a lot of different places. But like I said, it would end like the worst. You start out with a great vacation, and now it's like really everybody going home mad, and not just
here come the cops,
right? But not just she and I. The people we were with were upset because she ruined it for them too. I mean, it was just too much.
And then you got to ask yourself, when you're alone and you're trying to be sane and sober, why do I continue to allow this person to mess it up for everybody? And then you got your sister Teresa. I can help her. She won't survive without me. What about our vacation? Look, stop the madness. You need to leave while you can still breathe. It can get so violent. It can get so out of control. And all you're sitting there is wondering that, how did I allow my life to get unraveled to this point? Now, we're not suggesting, intimating, or hinting that everyone is in a dysfunctional relationship. No. And nothing's perfect. I get that. But some of us are truly running around in a bad circus with some really bizarre clowns. And only you can get yourself out of it. You got to love yourself enough. Love yourself more than you love them. How about that? To save yourself. And you found your voice. You found your courage.
Yes.
Everyone does it. So, again, the topic of today's subject is the relationship is over. But why is it you're still there? Why can't you leave? So we just gave you, 20 reasons why that we've heard of why they leave, but only you know why. And then I used to say, sometimes people get, they get so very comfortable, they get married to the misery. Because you've been miserable for the last 4.5 years with this person out of the last 7, and still you won't leave. I'm looking at you. I said, when they take y'all to the hospital, you know, put them in the same wing because now you crazy too.
Right.
Okay, so with that, and we as women, the way we are culturated, is that we're teachers, and we cook, we love, we mend things, mothers, women, we make sure things run right. And that happens with our children, our spouses. And if this part of your life is not running right, correctly, or healthy, I assure you it would touch other parts of your life.
Absolutely.
So, here we go. When she was good, she was great. When she was bad, she was horrible. I have been there with my story, and there are several to tell, but for the sake of timing, I'm just going to condense it. I'm going to give you the Reader's Digest of what I feel at the age of 65 when I, spin back my life.
Yeah, that's the Reader's Digest. Some people need the Cliff Notes version.
Yeah, some people do it, but
the younger generation needs the Cliff Notes. You do the Reader's Digest. Go ahead.
So I'll be brief. No, but I'm just saying, who hasn't been in love and who hasn't, been in love with quote unquote the wrong person. But my situation was, I was really, this is, oh my gosh, must I go back to the 80s? But anyhow, so, she was digging me, I was digging her. We love, we fell in love. We moved in together. She was, in my mind, one of the most beautiful women I had ever experienced. In my mind, and truly was a very attractive woman. But I'm just saying, just for the sake of the story, beautiful, this close to beautiful, and exciting and fun and all of that. And I was, still doing the Wild Woman show, but I really dug this woman. And so we were back and forth and back, and third time is a charm. So we got back together, and then there was oh, I didn't tell you, I'm pregnant. And I'm like, how did pregnancy did not? I looked at the flow chart. Pregnancy wasn't there. So, any event, so she's pregnant, and so I'm just like, okay, we can deal with it. That's not what I said at first, but any event. So the baby comes, and so of course, what do? Like any God-fearing lesbian, you fall in love with the child. The child is lovely and one of the best baby I ever been around, and the baby's named after me. That's what y'all lesbians do. Y'all name the baby after the ex-lover. Stop it. But in any event, so I go on in my life, and what was good was good. Things went from bad to worse to crazy. There was some drug abuse. There was the alcohol, the chemicals, the lying, the deceiving. I had to stay. One of those reasons up there, I had to stay for the baby's sake. But what about me? So this is what, again, I'm really condensing things. This is what was the final straw for me. After the violence, and you hit me, you threw a glass jar at me, I ducked, it broke the window, then you had a knife, you tried to stab me, and at that time I was 40 pounds lighter and very agile. Jumped off the couch just in time, because this woman would, I would have caught the knife in my stomach. And God had his angels around Sharyn. So in any event, I don't get stabbed, but there was a nasty fight. The cops were involved. In the midst of everything, I'm halfway through my soon-to-be wonderful military career, and I was put under investigation, and I was almost discharged from the Navy. End of subject. Let me tell you how I wrap this up. You can mess with my money. You can crash the car. I don't care. You can even tear up my wonderful silk blouses. You mess with my career, sweetie, you're done. We're done. I have no comeback for that. When you mess up with my gig, my job,
right.
Oh, you do not love me. And I have no more love for you. So what I did, I was able, there is a God. We know that. But the angels that came to me was saying, you need to get out of San Diego. You need to put yourself at least 2 oceans between you. Okay? And I did. As things wound up, I was able to salvage my career. I went on and did the next 13 years was just absolutely wonderful. I put a distance. Yes, I did see her again because of the kid. And so my statement was, this child won't always be 8 years old. She'll be 15 and she can come stay with me, or whatever the case may be. So I survived it. And believe me, I am definitely editing the hell out of all the nasty details. But what I'm saying to you, we're not just talking about what you need to do and what you need to know. We're talking about what we have survived.
Right.
There's some crazy daisies out there, sweetie.
Right.
It really, really is. So you need to watch. You need to read the backside of the ticket that you bought to this woman's show.
Right.
There's some crazy stuff going on out there, and we see it in our friends. You know, those who are happy and working it out are happy and working it out. Those who got some wrinkles, they're smoothing out the wrinkles. But when you're in an incredibly dysfunctional relationship, a dangerous relationship, something that is turning you away from your path, and you're talking to cops at 3:00 in the morning, and you can't find your keys, and who bashed the car, all this madness going on, you got to say, sweetie, this is not you living your best life. It's just not. So we're just asking you, check yourself out.
And we're not in any way saying leave your relationship. We're just saying that, because we're definitely not professionals in doing that, but we're just giving you some topics as to if you're still in it and you're not leaving, why is that? And we know half of the topics that we've heard them, we've had them in our own lives.
Absolutely.
So it's like we get it and we understand, but when you know that you know, it's time to go.
It is.
It's time to go. And a lot of people do use the whole, well, I don't know if I have enough money. You have enough. You just don't know that you have enough.
Yeah.
But trust me,
Yeah.
you can make it.
Mm-hmm.
Do what you got to do. Stay, in your faith, and it will work out.
And you have to want to.
out.
You do have to want to. And
Yeah,
I don't mean
that's the biggest point.
Right.
You
I don't
gotta
mean
want
the
to.
drama drill. I'm going to leave her. I'm going to leave her as soon as we pay these bills off. I'm going to leave her as soon
Soon as we save up $30,000 and some dollars, I'm gonna leave her as soon as
remember I was telling you about one of the couples, they were fighting over this the vacation, this timeshare vacation. It wasn't about the timeshare.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They were both angry that the relationship had dissolved. So
Absolutely.
again, back to the topic. The relationship's over. You know when it's dead on arrival. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
So why are you still there? Why are you? Don't say you're doing it for her, because believe me, it takes two, and you're getting something out of the relationship.
Right.
And I don't mean just a black eye and a busted lip sometime, and then you start lying to your friends. I fell. Yeah. See, so that's when you really need to, get a checkup from the neck up. Something's very, very wrong.
And have a conversation with that person. Ask them where they see the relationship, or where and you go back and forth, because their perspective of where the relationship is may be totally different of where yours is. And if you all are not even on the same wavelength, then you can't even be, doing going towards the same things.
No.
It just doesn't balance out. So definitely check the temperature. Make sure if yours is lukewarm, hers is lukewarm too.
Oh, absolutely. But of course, and guess what? It may be you may be the person
That's what I was just getting ready to say.
the dysfunctional part of it. You know what I mean? And it's just like
That's why I'm like, have that conversation, because if you don't
With
see
yourself.
any of this, then it might be you. And that person may be, trying to leave and walk out, and be okay with that. Let them go. If they want to go, let them go.
Yeah.
Let them go.
I remember when we first got together, you need to have a list of no matter what's, don't you ever, you know what I mean? And whatever's on your list, because as a friend said a long time ago, she said, there's got to be some things you just won't do. Mm-hmm. Some people don't have that list. There's got to be something that you just won't do. When Rosa and I first got together, and we, by this time we both know that we kind of serious,
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm just like, what's the one thing that I better not ever do to you? And she just said it one like you better not ever hit me, And I'm like, check, not a problem, because I'm not I'm not in the hitting mode, okay, and I'm not in the receiving hit either. So don't tell me don't hit you and then you slap me. But I mean,
I don't do violence.
No, and even the hint of it.
Yeah.
Don't even threaten me with it. With me, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's my age thing or whatever, but I can't stand for someone to cuss at me. I find that so rude. I mean, you ain't gonna call me no improper.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't do that. I'm just
you ain't gonna be calling me no improper nouns, because with the cussing comes something else and come and then maybe you'll get to the hitting.
Right.
But I find it so rude. I find it vulgar. It's 3 billion new words, and all you gotta do is add an S to it, and it's another 3 billion. I'm telling you, don't cuss at me.
Right.
My sweetie is cussing at me.
Right.
Oh no. So she don't, I don't, we don't like it. Really won't tolerate it. And the other things are not to even be considered.
Right.
Because I told him one day, I said, if you do hit me, that's elder abuse, and I will call it in. I am a senior citizen. So to wrap up today,
Yes.
and as we shared a little bit of our stories, and I think you guys, with some of the feedback we're getting, you seem to appreciate that. So we're not sitting up here telling you what you need to do, what you don't do, what the psychologists say do. I'm telling you real life on planet Earth.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? We are gay women. We are black women. We are plugged in. We're out there. We're marching. We're talking. We're helping each other. We're loving each other. All of that. Somewhere in all of that, there's going to be a wrinkle or two.
Yes.
But those huge ones, those she done beat me up again, and could you come bail me out of jail? And I don't know where my car is, but I think it's in Tijuana. That crazy drama stuff. Don't tolerate that.
Yeah.
You're better than that.
Absolutely.
And I'm telling all y'all, don't be running out there trying to save somebody from drowning who can't swim.
Absolutely.
Okay, they shouldn't have been out there anyhow. So love yourself. Okay? So with
Absolutely.
that, I think we're good.
Yes, I think so.
Okay. So until next time, we're wishing you the very best.
Of all good things, stay safe and stay woke.
All right.
Love you.